everybody. I'd like to start off by wishing each and every one of you peace, power, prosperity, and most of all love to you and your families. Let's get right down to business. I've been away for a while. I've been to Catalina Island, Disneyland with my daughter, and then Hawaii to the big island of Kona. So I've gotten a lot of sunshine. I've gotten my vitamin D quotas. I'm regenerated, rejuvenated, and ready to go and give out some more guidance, coaching, knowledge, and ultimately for all of us to become wisdom seekers and then ascended beings. Today's discussions, Dr. Z discussions, I'm going to get right into it. This is about what I call the halfwayers, better known as the half-assers. You know, if someone is diagnosed with a very serious disease, I've come across 2 or 3 recently. One was cancer, one was Alzheimer's disease, the other was amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which is a degenerative neurological disease, and also a liver autoimmune disease. When you're presented with these, quote, diseases, there's no time to half-ass it. There's no time to discover whether or not detox works or doesn't work. There's no time to discover whether or not you should be on a raw food diet and mostly pure fruits during that time, because fruit is the most cleansing. It is the most powerful. I had an orange in my hand and when I was in Hawaii, and really just holding it and feeling the vibrations of it, just a lot of information started to get transmitted to me about how much sunlight energy is into this orange, how it's concentrated sunlight. This is what Mother Nature does. But not an orgy, it's not even an orgy. It's a sexual union and a sexual contract between the positive and negative polarities of sun and earth to create Mother Nature's gifted children, who then teach us. Yes, food teaches us. Food can awaken us. Food can actually open up our consciousness, and food, depending on what type of food we choose, can either close us down, open us up, make us sick, make us healthy, put us in balance, or put us out of homeostasis. So I really don't have a whole lot of time for halfwayers, those who purport to want to get healthy, who have significant disease problems, have some significant psychological issues, and they're going to sit there and argue with me about they can't get 30 minutes of sunlight. We got a problem. We got a problem with understanding how serious this toxic issue is, how serious toxic acidosis is, how serious population control is, or I should say population extermination. It is already underway. I've spoken about it. I don't like to get stay on negativity too long, but we got to get our shit together here, man. These videos are, they are legacy videos designed really to wake you up. They're designed to affect your consciousness. They're not designed to make you healthy. You will make yourself healthy once you awaken from your sleep and from your slumber. The question is, when the hell is that going to be? After you're, sitting around, with half your limbs cut off, with diabetes, with degenerative neurological disease, with half your kidneys gone, with your colon cut to pieces because of poor diet. Listen, folks, we are under siege. We are being hit with a toxic Armageddon like we've never been seen before, from the air, from the land, from the food, from the computers, from the electromagnetic radiation, the frequencies. We're being irradiated as we speak. Fukushima is not a joke. We're now messing with the seeds of Mother Nature's. We're messing with Mother Nature's sunglasses, i.e. the atmosphere. And there's retribution to be paid during this time. We have to keep ourselves clean. We have to keep ourselves pure. We have to keep ourselves focused and well-intentioned. I'd like to read something that kind of talks about what I'm doing this weekend, which is now my 3rd liver and gallbladder flush. I actually saved some stones from the second liver and gallbladder flesh. I will try and put it into this video, hopefully right around here, so you can see what actually comes out of your body. Multiply that times 500, and that's what came out of my body. 750 the last time, so we're talking about 1,250 stones approximately that came out through 2 liver and gallbladder flushes, and I'll keep doing them until the stones are at a minimum. And the more that you do that, these liver flushes, and liver and gallbladder flushes are not for everybody. I merely put that on the table as an option for those of you who are ready. Please do the research, read the book, and if you have some significant medical issues going on, you may want to consult with a physician or a naturopath or whoever your health care expert is, or health coach before you embark on this by yourself. The good news is I have enough common sense, enough training, enough understanding of anatomy, physiology, where I can do this completely alone, on my own. I've done it with other people who claim to want to do detoxing, and then they bail out in the middle of the detoxing for God only knows what. This is a reflection of consciousness, not a reflection of understanding that this detoxification goes a lot deeper than just physical health. It is much, much deeper than physical health. This is about literally spiritual awakening and ascension. I haven't talked much about metaphysics, much about true spirituality, because I give it to you in doses. Those of you who have gone on mostly a raw food diet, or at least 75% raw foods, understand the light bulb that goes on, understands the creativity that gets unleashed, and then you begin to understand your true identity as a massively creative light being taking physical form for the purposes of enrolling in Planet Earth University to learn, to awaken, to grow, to evolve, and to ascend. And so let me read a little bit about what I've been communicating to others. These are just messages that I sent about what's going on, and people calling me on the phone, and I'm on call this weekend. And when you're going through liver and gallbladder flush, you prepare for at least a week, and then you do the actual flush. But it all flows together. So this week is really a week of quietness, of low stress, because you're cleansing not only your body but your mind, your spirit, and everything else. So let me read this. And I very really like to read things. I always like to talk from the heart, but this just came out recently, and I was trying to explain to significant others that as I approach this time, I don't just see it as a liver and gallbladder flush. So this is what I said in quotation: sensitivity increases as I approach the time of retribution. I wonder what that means. The time of paying my personal debt to Mother Nature. The least disturbance during this ritualistic time of purifying mind, body, and spirit is greatly appreciated. The act of detoxification requires some sacrifice and suffering, but only because of my own ignorance. In other words, it's because of my own ignorance, living outside the laws of nature, not understanding what the laws of nature was, and not listening to that feedback which is constantly coming to us. But we've lowered our vibratory essence so low that we no longer listen to that intuitive feedback. We no longer listen to the intuitive feedback that our bodies give us, and so we find ourselves going further and further and further outside the center of the laws of nature. And what happens when you go outside the center of the laws of nature? You suffer, you suffer, you suffer. You end up with, quote, diseases, which is really toxic acidosis, an imbalance in homeostasis, and ultimately you will die, but you will die with a lot of suffering involved. That doesn't mean that life was not worthwhile, because we come back many times, and Planet Earth University will be available to you again in a different way, and you'll express differently. So let's continue. The liver flush is part of a great time of psychological purging. I'll say that again. The liver flush is a part of excuse me, let me start it again. The liver flush is a is a time of great psychological purging. The reason why I'm having trouble with that is because I wrote it wrong. But it is not only just a physical purging, it is a psychological purging at the same time. You cannot have one without the other. So when your friends are telling you they're detoxing, you leave them alone. Let them grow. Unless you're joining them in the quote detox party. Otherwise, you're on two different levels at that time. Not one is higher than lower or one is better than the other. No, it's just two different things. One is making a sacrifice. One is really, in a time of reverence. And, the others are not. So, during that time, there should not be disturbances unless they're absolutely necessary. This time must be respected and revered. I do not want my phone ringing unless it's the hospital. I'm on call this weekend. So I'm telling my significant other I don't want the phone ringing. I don't want unnecessary disturbances because right now I'm going into a real quiet, peaceful, reverential mode. And I also say, those unwilling to sacrifice and repay their karmic debt remain in a state of somnolence, destined to suffer and repeat their egregious sins against the cosmology of self and God. Eventually, in their own time, they shall awaken. In the meantime, I choose to accelerate my own awakening during this time of holy purging. Now, I'm not even going to explain what that means. If you can decipher it, that means you are in the process of awakening. If you cannot, you will be able to decipher this at some point along your path or journey. It will just click like nothing. So these are almost like mystical poems, not designed to have any particular meaning. It's really designed to go past the conscious mind into the unconscious or subconscious mind and awaken what is already laying dormant. And when it awakens, these words will become self-evident. So let me go on. I say, wish me joy and success as I grow to become the perfect nobody. I have spoken about what does it mean to become the nobody. And I look at the consciousness of developing the sense of nobodiness as the greatest mystery of all time. Why do I call it the greatest mystery of all time? You will come to understand it, or you already do. And I hope you already do. I said, do you think this is about physical health? That is only a small part. This is about rejuvenation and awakening. Let the toxins fall away from my body as all negativity is released from my soul. Witness the miracle of the light being who has taken physical form awaken. Let no man curse who Jah blesses. Ultimately, the spiritual being shines in all of its pure golden luminescence. Ultimately, the spiritual being shines in all of its pure golden luminescence as we bring heaven to earth. This is cosmic intention. This is the truth of all times. And I don't think I wrote any more than that. But really, when I start to send messages like that to people, they either get it or they don't get it. But I thought it would be interesting to share some of when you are starting on a detox protocol, be it a 90-day detox protocol, or you're doing a full body cleanse, being it a liver, a gallbladder flush, coming off of the flesh, because the less flesh you eat, especially in this world, because the flesh is tainted. When I talk about flesh, I'm talking about animal foods. It's tainted. I never purport a raw food, being a raw foodist, a vegan, a vegetarian, a lacto-vegetarian. None of those terms, they're all meaningless to me. What I purport is you experimenting with the diet that works best for you. And ultimately, I already know that the diet that works best for most of us is a diet that is a minimal on 75% raw foods. That is uncooked fruits and vegetables. And there's a reason for that. The food is alive. The food has not been removed that far from Mother Nature. It has not been processed. It has not been cooked. The enzymes are still living. There's still bacteria on that food. Which brings me to what I spoke about last time about the two greatest things that we can pay attention to when we're working on health is the microbiome. At least that's what it's called now. What is the microbiome? It is the good intestinal flora, the dynamic living bacteria, which we find mostly in our colon, but throughout the whole digestive tract, but mostly in our colon. We have it in our mouth, we have it all the way down into the stomach. Sometimes people with ulcers end up having H. pylori, that's H. Pylori, which is a form of a Helicobacter or bacterium that is found in conjunction with stomach ulcers. Did the bacteria cause the ulcer? No. The bacteria is there because that's its nature. But we have 5, 6, 7, bacteria in the GI tract, it's like another organ. These things send out signals. They create most of the serotonin in the body, which is a neurotransmitter, i.e. the happy neurotransmitter. They create a lot of neurotransmitters, dopamine, but serotonin is a big one. And this is why we have a thing called the GAPS diet, the gut and psychology syndrome, or I forget what it really stands for, but just look up GAPS. You can look it up right here on YouTube. There's a lot of videos about GAPS. But it tells you what the relationship is and how important it is to cultivate these good bacteria. Now, some naturopaths, shame on you, do not feel that all we need to do is change our diet and the gut bacteria come back to normal. If we were in a normal, clean world environment with spiritually awakened people, that would, and with a planet that was vibrating at a level that was conducive to that, and we weren't being constantly bombarded by antibacterial substances, including pesticides, herbicides, glyphosates, atrazines, mercuries, heavy metals, fake sugars, high fructose corn syrup, the aluminum, the barium, the mercury, the arsenic. The list goes on and on of what we're being exposed to on an everyday level. I have told most of you indoors, please get yourself a good air filter. If you have 2 levels, get one upstairs, get one downstairs. I keep one in my bedroom. I have 3. It's about a 3,000 square foot house. But you have to purify the air. When you see chemtrails, that's not a joke. When you see an elite group making a decision to literally kill us off by poisoning the water, poisoning the food, causing wanting to control the weather, essentially wanting to play God, and that always backfires. But in the meantime, great damage can be done. A lot of people can die, a lot of people can suffer, and I don't want you to be one of those. Some suffering is necessary in order to teach, but there's some suffering that's unnecessary, that through knowledge, through awakening, through using your own intuition, and analyzing the data and doing some research, some simple research on your own, and using your own common sense, which most of us have been conditioned out of our own common sense. And then you understand what I'm saying is quite true and quite to the point. And I don't care who it is that's coming against us with all these toxins. We just have to be aware that they are here. Can we get politically involved? If you wish to, you can get politically involved and do as much as you can. I'm doing as much as I can. As an individual, and joining particular groups to try and help awaken people, and also to try to get some of our at least halfway awakened government officials, well, from the city all the way up to the White House, to waken up and stop the craziness. But when they have a depopulation agenda, to kill a lot of us off through toxins, and if we do not have our immune system functioning, which also, by the way, I would say about 60% of the immune system comes from the gut. Extremely important, this microbiome. So if we don't have our GI tract working properly, and that means from the parotid glands, which are salivary glands, teeth health, again, that's part of your GI tract, gingivitis, all that inflammation stuff has to be gone. Your sinuses, which is part of the breathing apparatus, you're also taking in toxins through there. You're also breathing out toxins, but it's a two-way street, just like your skin. But I mean, just look at the esophagus, and then we have the stomach with the stomach acid. We have the liver that's connected to the small intestine, which has the common bile duct, which has the gallbladder, which is where we get a lot of stones. And now we see that cholecystectomies, the gallbladder surgeries, are going to an all-time high, and quite unnecessary. Just because the patient is symptomatic, i.e. a light being who is inhabited a physical body and who is now living out of the laws of nature, develops stones, and I've had them before, does not mean that you cut the freaking gallbladder out unless it's an emergency. Okay? That's why we need a good surgeon for emergencies, not for a diagnosis of gallstones, and along with the gallstones are liver stones or intrahepatic stones. That creates the bile and creates a whole lot of other things, emulsifies fats and so forth and so on. But the liver's there, and again, the liver's the first organ of detoxification, right? So when we absorb food, it's going right through the liver, and the liver has to do its thousands upon thousands of miracle chemical gyrations. It's a chemical acrobat. The liver is a miracle. I'll be honest with you, the more I study it and the more I see the science behind it, and maybe one day I'll just do a talk on just the liver. We'll talk about Kupffer cells, we'll talk about intrahepatic bile ducts, we'll talk about liver globules and how the liver is put together and what the structure is and why the liver is such a fantastic organ of detoxification. And again, for those of you who do not think somehow that the liver is not involved in detoxification, that's ludicrous. Of course it's involved in detoxification. Now, does the liver actually get rid of toxins? Yes, through the GI tract it can get rid of toxins. These stones, by the way, these liver stones are nothing more than the liver's attempt at getting all these toxins, getting overwhelmed and saying, hey, for the time being, until we can metabolize this crap, we're going to put it into a concentrated form. And over time, this concentrated form becomes hardened, it becomes stone-like, it can become calcified, and it can then turn black. If you have black stones, those stones have been sitting there for 20 plus years. If you have white stones, they've been sitting there for quite a while, they've become calcified. If you have the green stones, that means they've not been sitting there for that long, but it still means that your body is overwhelmed with toxins, and the liver is overwhelmed with toxins. Then we move down to where it all feeds it together, which is your pancreas. So there's a relationship between the pancreas, which is a digestive organ, and it is a endocrine organ, i.e. it makes insulin, it makes glucagon, and other things that we've yet discovered. This is also a great organ, and it is a very dynamic organ, and when it is, has abnormal cells in it, or when it's back up and congested, we call it, quote, cancer, pancreatic cancer, which we should not be afraid of, because we know that all we need to do is get involved in an aggressive detoxification program, which I'm trying to teach. And I will go through a specific detoxification program very soon, because I think now that the foundational videos have been laid, it's time to go to dealing with how do we clean out the body. Most of you spend more time cleaning the outside of your body than you ever do the inside of your body. Matter of fact, you do a very good job of polluting the inside of your body, me included. I was there. I'm still there on occasion, because remember, until we really have 100% self-mastery, there's always going to be this struggle of duality. There's always going to be this self-sabotage sitting in there that we have to be aware of. And not to feel guilty if the saboteur wins out on occasion. It's just a matter of the saboteur should win out less often and eventually not at all, unless we give permission to. But at that point, we're in full control consciously. So please take these videos serious. Please take detoxification serious. I mean, it is as much of a spiritual issue as it is a detoxification issue, and those of you who go through it will experience exactly what I'm talking about. And so those poetic statements that I made earlier, well, you'll add more to it. You'll add more beauty to these statements. But these things come to you when you begin to quiet down, when you get into an automatic state of reverential meditation. This is not religion, folks. This is what happens. You become sensitive, your intuition turns on, and you really do not want a whole lot of disturbance from the outside world, because your sensitivity is increasing. Now that I'm doing my third liver flush, this was after 2 weeks of vacation. Did I go off the straight and narrow during 2 weeks of not being home? You bet. I mean, I was in hotels, I was at Disneyland, I was at Catalina Island, I was at Hawaii. Yeah, I went off the reservation. But I went off the reservation saying, okay, do I have a plan now that I've been off the reservation, i.e. off a, quote, a diet that suits me perfectly, and now am I willing to come back, adjust, and pay the price for that? And the answer is absolutely. I would have it no other way. But there are some of us who will not pay that price and will get sick. It starts here, and then it goes into the physical body. Because you then will eat the wrong thing. You will not understand that, hey, man, when you've gotten out of balance, it's time to come back into balance. That's why I will never go on vacation for typically longer than 2 weeks if I'm going to be out of town, because I don't want to push myself too far away from center, and I want to get back to center. And so after the 2 weeks of vacation, now I'm spending the next 6 days. Tomorrow's day number 6, where I will do the liver and gallbladder flush. But again, it is much more than just getting toxins out of the liver. It's much more than just getting stones out of the GI tract. It is a cleansing and purification ritual of the highest order. And I cannot emphasize this enough. People, we are not just dealing with a physical body. We are dealing with a mind-body-spirit connection. And on this planet, as we manifest as light beings on this planet, we can never forget that. So, those of you who are half-assing it, please begin to take this a little more seriously. This is no joke. This is for real. This is your key to saving yourself. I always say to people, to the pastors, to the churches, there's no one coming to save you unless you wake up and save yourself. There's nothing coming to save you unless you create the conditions for a saving to take place, which is nothing more than a conscious awakening. There is no Savior coming save we as a people wake up and bring heaven right here to earth. And we can do it because we have the power to do it. We've been imbued with the power to do it from the beginning, from all of time and creation. We have permission from God to do it, who is also manifesting through us at this time. And so I don't see why we don't bring heaven to earth. Do not get caught up into the negativity that's around you. Do not believe that your brothers and sisters are your enemies. And doctors, we got to stop prescribing these crazy medications. Every time there's a shooting on the outside, we find out that patients on the crazy medication. This shooting that just took place in South Carolina in the church, it's ridiculous. Now, some people say this is a gun crime. That's not a gun crime. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. This is not a church crime. This is not a anti-Christian crime. This is a racist hate crime. Period. End of sentence. And hello, people. We don't talk about it's time for more draconian gun control. No, it's not time for gun control. We need to have the ability to protect ourselves, but that's only common sense. And we know that wherever gun control takes place, crime goes up higher. Why? Because criminals will get guns whenever they freaking feel like it. Okay? And it leaves the innocent people like you and me undefended. So I don't plan on giving up any freaking guns. Yes, you must learn how to shoot them properly. You must know gun safety. You must know how to store them safely. But, you know, if an intruder breaks into my home, I'm it. It's me and my gun. That's what I have. 911, I call 911. It's too late. The guy is in my house already. So it's a self-defense. Do I think I need to carry a gun in the street? Probably not. Not at this point anyway. But we know that places like Texas where there's the least amount of gun control is also the least amount of crime. People are not stupid. They know everybody's carrying a gun and bringing out a gun in a threatening manner is likely to get you killed. So, no, I mean, the gun crimes and crimes go down as we have less draconian gun control laws. So shame on you, Obama, for talking about freaking gun control and using this tragic event as a time to manipulate people's minds and control their conscience with this crazy gun control crap. Please, this is racism at its worst. End of sentence. But let's keep it positive. I'm doing the liver and gallbladder flush. I'm in a nice peaceful mood right now. I don't really want to be disturbed by anybody, so I'm making this video right now. It's actually very, when I make these videos, it actually is, I feel very good about it. So, and I don't care how long they run, and I don't care how many people watch them. I just make them and put them up on YouTube. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear. Those who have eyes to see, let them see. And those who do not, oh well, go find it somewhere else, or you can suffer some more. I'm gonna, in the next video, I'm gonna be naming my all-star health team. I'm gonna be naming some shows too that are political and economical, because we have to have the full Monty. We got to have physical health. We have to understand where we find ourselves today. We have to understand some basic laws of money management. We have to understand ecology. We have to understand what's going on Mother Earth. We have to understand this Fukushima event. We have to understand this the oil spill that's going on. It's probably still going on. I haven't had any word that the oil spill in the Gulf has completely resolved itself. It just likely has not. So we're polluting our planet at a rate that heretofore unseen in human history, and there's only one inevitable conclusion. Either we wake up and we stop the insanity, or we're all going to get wiped out. All of us, including the wiper-outers who think that they're going to be immune from this and somehow feel like they're sitting on above God. No, you'll get wiped out too. I don't pray negativity for anybody. I hope all of us wake up, come together, and work hand in hand with Mother Nature, which means working hand in hand with ourselves, because we are here on planet Earth. With that, I'm going to wish everybody peace, power, prosperity, and most of all, love to you and your families. I will let you know in the next video how this particular liver flush turned out. And again, I have pictures of the stones that I dropped the last time. Again, when you see the picture, I'm going to try and get it in this video, multiply it by 500. That's what came out of me. And that's a conservative estimation. Okay? Bye now.